guys, what is going on? RedMaster here, and welcome back to the Cars and Castles video. Today, I know this is going to be a bit late. We are going to be going over the tweaks from the last patch. I know deck rankings have come out already. I've done them myself at the moment. But life gets in the way sometimes, and sometimes you're just going to have to deal with it. But now that I have the time, I will be going over again the tweaks of the latest patch. So with that being said, we're just going to jump straight into it with our first card on today's list being... Hey guys, what is going on? RedMaster here, and welcome back to the Cars and Castles video. Today, I know this is going to be a bit late. We are going to be going over the tweaks from the last patch. I know deck rankings have come out already. I've done them myself at the moment. But life gets in the way sometimes, and sometimes you're just going to have to deal with it. But now that I have the time, I will be going over again the tweaks of the latest patch. So with that being said, we're just going to jump straight into it with our first card on today's list being Karger. Karger did receive, in my opinion, what seems to be a more of a revamp than a tweak, but they classify it as a tweak, so I'm going to express it as a tweak. He did get a new ability known as Blood Price. As you can see by the little annotation there, Blood Price cannot be played unless you sacrifice, or unless you have sacrificed a unit in your previous turn, whether it be from Grotesque, Talabo, Stone Dragon statue, that stone statue, Darkfire, etc. So, interesting seeing how Karger's gonna have, like, you know, a turn where something's going to be sacrificed, so then by turn 6 or beyond, you know that since they sacrificed last turn, you'll most likely be expecting a Karger. So that makes them a bit more predictable, but still nowhere near any less powerful. Karger is still a big threat nowadays, and being at 6 gold and 7/7, he's basically at T-Rex stats now, and T-Rex is pretty dangerous to begin with, not to mention still having that -2 attack on all of the combat units. Definitely devastating, so I would urge caution when possibly playing a Warlock deck, just because you never know when Karger's coming out. It's still a very big threat in my opinion, but the Blood Price did make him a bit more predictable, but again, does not lower his power whatsoever. I won't be surprised if Karger decks, again, probably start appearing more frequently in the coming future, so... yeah, very good on Karger. Another one of the big tweaks I want to touch on was Karasume. Karasume did receive, I don't know if it's like a nerf or something like that, but she did, or you know, Karasume did now get a limit onto the possible units that are bounced back. As you can see by the combo, return a random friendly unit to your hand. So this is not like, oh, I'm gonna play Karasume, and you know, if I have a Maddie and my opponent has like a Faithful Drake, I don't risk getting the Drake bounced. Now it's more of like, I'm gonna hit Karasume onto an opponent, and something is guaranteed to bounce. Very good when it comes off of a fresh Maddie play, in my opinion. When Maddie summons a Karasume, you hit with the Karasume, bounce the Maddie back, and instantly you get another mage. So that's some pretty good value from a Karasume off of a fresh Maddie pull. But if you're trying to set up specifically with Karasume decks, it might be a little easier now. I'm not gonna lie. Usually with Karasume, you're most likely hitting a friendly unit, or you want to anyway. You don't really want to hit an enemy unit unless it's like for stalling purposes, like, oh, I don't want this here now, I'll deal with it later, but I just need Karasume to bounce it. That can no longer happen. It's no longer a stalling tool. It's more like a setup tool, if anything. So, but good change on the Karasume. It does center Karasume more for your deck rather than a stall tactic. So, pretty good change on the Karasume. Moving on to one of my more favorite tweaks of the patch, Rally of the Town now summons 2 Filthy Peasants and 2 Lumberjacks. Now, I am a bit biased. I use this card in my current deck, and that's why I'm such a huge advocate of it at the moment. It's extremely useful for what I'm running. It may not be for you, but for those of you who like to create swarms, and possibly bigger swarms than just undead, Rally of the Town could be the card for you. Two Philly peasants and two lumberjacks. Of course, the peasants are at 1-3. Meanwhile, the lumberjacks are at 2-3. Lumbers at 2. Moving peasants at 3. So you have a good balance between a slow defensive and a high-speed offensive. You're getting the two peasants for your offensive, the lumberjacks for your defensive if you need to clear something away. Not much to say otherwise to this card. I think it has its purpose in decks. I'm not going to give away that purpose just yet. I have a video scheduled for you guys to show you the power that I found in Rally of the Town. So until I can show you that, or until I release that, I'm sure to say Rally of the Town. I like the change and can't wait to see more of it in the future. And jumping right off the back of the Rally of the Town change, we do have Quest for the Holy Grail, which did get a cost reduction to 5. Very good for the card. I definitely like this change, seeing as how, well, again, I'm a little biased toward this because I do play it. But I think this is great. In the long run, you are saving yourself 2 gold from summoning all 3 of these separately. And not to mention that the Dwarf Paladin also has that Knight tag. You are going to get some good Knight synergy out of using the Quest for the Holy Grail. You'll be able to mess around with the Dwarf Paladin as well as the Questing Knights a bit more just by using this card and some other Knight cards as well. I did, again, good change. I like this card. I've been using it a bunch since the change. I hope other people are as well. So overall, very good change, and I definitely approve of Quest for the Holy Grail. And again, we'll be showing you what I use it for in due time. Next, we're going to be talking about Korra the Hand. Korra did receive a slight alteration in stat line. It's now at 3-5. Overall, I'm still not to me, I find stealth a bit tricky to use nowadays, especially it's going to take a lot more thinking. It's going to take a lot more planning. Just because you have so many things to worry about with stealth, you got to move them, but you can't attack while you're, you can't attack castle while you're in stealth. So maybe you got to bounce it off a unit for. There's a lot of things that are involved with stealth nowadays, and I just find that it's going to take a bit more skill to utilize the full aspects of stealth, and I think that's fine. But I want to talk about Korra because I think his stat alteration did make him slightly weaker. At 6 health, he could take 2 shots and keep moving. At 5 health, I feel like he can, if discovered, he does have a susceptibility to just die right there and you lose your stealth mover, and sometimes that could cost you heavily. But that's just my opinion. Not really sure, how I feel about Korra. Tell me what you guys think about Korra, because I would like to hear what you guys think about him. Just to me, it doesn't seem like he's in a good place right now, especially with all the stealth alterations that have already happened. I don't think he needed the additional stat alteration, in my opinion. But again, willing to hear your guys' thoughts on Korra. Next, I want to talk about were some of the spell buffs. I have Hibernate selected at the moment just because that's what I used in the thumbnail of the video, so I got it included in there somewhere, but not only Hibernate I do want to talk about Mark of the Fist, Fear of Battle, Blessing of Trends, Hands of the Saints, etc. I think all these cards, did get pretty decent alterations to stat lines, and I just want to talk about that real quickly because I felt like it was a bit necessary to touch up on it. A lot of people were like, oh, they're nerfing the attack spells. Attack spells are pretty useless now. Not entirely. I still like Hibernate. Hibernate's a pretty good buff card. I had to think of the word there for a second. Blessing of the Trends, alright, 1-3, it's not bad. Fear of Battle, I question. Just because you have Mark of the Fist that does the same exact thing, except Mark of the Fist is a cost of 2. So I question that one just a bit. And Hands of the Saint, bro, definitely. That's a big health buff there, and I'm waiting for that to just be heavily abused in the future. But I think all of these cards did get some good alterations to the attack power that they gave, especially in the 12 HP system. But yeah, I quickly just wanted to touch up on that because I felt like they should be addressed. It was a decent amount of cards that got hit, so simple enough. I just wanted to check in on the buff cards, So overall, not that bad, especially with the new, again, 12 HP. I think they are doing quite alright. Next up, we have Murder. Murder did receive a cost increase to 6. Now, Murder was always one of those cards that was just right at 5 gold, You gotta invest for taking out the unit, but it wasn't a heavy loss where it could be used later on. I think being at 6 now, it doesn't completely kill the card, but definitely makes it harder to accept using, because you are investing 6 gold into a murder. That's pretty much an entire turn, and when you're in turn, you know, what I can't remember the exact numbers, but when you have 6 gold, that's what I'm trying to get out here. It could be a bit risky to just to murder something when there could be multiple things coming at you. Murder just doesn't seem, personally to me, right at 6 gold. It should be, you know, where it is, 5. It wasn't really doing anything bad down there. But I can understand it's being moved to 6. You've got a couple of different, you know, buffs and removals being altered around, so it would seem no different that murder would be in there. So overall, myself, I'm a bit meh on this change. I would have liked to see it untouched, but you know, can't always be getting what we asked for nowadays. Yeah. So that being said, murder's gotta change in my opinion. And one of the final changes I'll be talking about in tonight's video is all of the stat changes to monster cards. There were several monsters that did get changed. Minotaur attack reduction to 4, Grendel stat change to 5/6, Serpent Witch health reduction to 4, Karger health reduction to 4 as well, and Manfish health reduction to 2. Now I think with this monster change, they are addressing the fact that, you know, monsters were, even though their type or their archetype is focused on these strong stats, I think at this point they're finally trying to just balance out, alright, what needs to be toned down a bit, and, you know, here it is. You got some of the monsters a lot more easily killable now, Manfish being, you know, 2 health, that's pretty easy to take out without a disintegrate. Karger's alright at 4 health, I don't see a problem there. Serpent Witch, same deal. Grendel's, I mean, I could have seen him in the 6/7 still, and maybe even 6/6, but 5/6 I guess is alright. And Minotaur, 4/5, it kind of makes you question about why you're playing those bigger monsters. But I do think the monster change was good. It did tone them down pretty much, and they are still very usable. I have seen some monster decks roaming around in the ranking ladders, so but overall a good change to their stats, and I appreciate that. So very good change all around for the monsters. With that being said, guys, that's going to do it for the tweak video. I know I didn't cover all the tweaks, obviously, but I felt like I touched upon the ones that were most significant to me and ones that I wanted to discuss with you guys. Now, if you guys, of course, felt like there are other cards out there that you have an opinion on, like the new sort of stealth tech for Ambush and Fenrir, for example, maybe the Dojo cost reduction, you know, just naming some examples, or the Door Knight health reduction. Again, you know, comment section is there. If you guys want to comment on, you know, oh, how do you feel about this, I'll be glad to share my opinion on that. But I'm not going to touch upon all the tweaks because there are a significant amount of them. So, yeah, I think we're going to call it a video there. So, again, with that being said, if you guys did enjoy the video, please make sure to give it a like, share with your friends, and again, comment down below if you think I missed any sort of major tweaks that I should have discussed. And remember to use code RedMaster if you haven't done so already on Android or Steam to receive 5 free card packs. If you are new to the channel, guys, please make sure to subscribe if you are new. That's, you know, pretty much the main way of showing support to the channel here. Just click that subscribe button. That's all you gotta do. And, yeah, I think that pretty much covered it. So, until the next video, guys, stay gaming.